Hey guys, Thomas the Jr. here, aka Mustached, and welcome back to the month of horror movie reviews. This time I'm going to be checking out Bunnyman Vengeance. This is the third Bunnyman movie, and if you don't remember, a while back, I believe I did a review for both Bunnyman 1 and Bunnyman 2. I think this is when I first attempted to react instead of just reviewing, and reacting is definitely not my style. I actually contacted the director. He said he was cool with it, which I found very fascinating at the time. And I supported him during the first movie. And I definitely wanted to continue to check out Bunnyman and where his little adventure would take him next. And here we finally are at his apparent final movie, which is unfortunate. I do think he has a place in the horror compendium somewhere. Though I do think the inspired by true events part is very unnecessary. Anyway, so we get a little clip of Bunnyman's past, which is a bit new because we did not know where Bunnyman comes from. So we see that he had an abusive father. He was probably adopted. The people that were taking after him, the flashback showed he was like some white kid, and his parents were darker skin. So I'm assuming they both adopted him, and then the father just didn't care. Up all the way until the point of where we see him abusing the kid, tossing him down to the ground, throwing a flame on him like a match flame, and then pissing on him to make sure he lives but is torched forever, or scorched forever but living. And he is saved by another kid who happened to have been in the area to save him. So we cut to the present. I'm actually not sure if this is a prequel or the most, current in the timeline, but whatever. I think that's the least irrelevant part. Anyways, Bunnyman is beating on some kid on a bag, probably doing his thing as per usual. He doesn't care who he's after now. So he takes down this kid out of the bag, and the sheriff arrives. And as the sheriff is taking his sweet time, a car approaches the two of them, hitting the sheriff and killing him. He is saved by one of the three. I don't know if it's the kid who saved him or one of the other two people in the background. I don't remember. Anyways, we learn that Bunnyman's real name, his human name, if you will, is Michael. So, I don't know if that's a callback to Michael Myers, or I don't know. But that's what his name is, or, was, until it became Bunnyman. So, we see that the kid that saved him is clearly also grown up, and they have BM, I'll call him for short, looks over all of his previous victims, and he gets this flashback of when he was tormented after, he was just walking around with his toys. These two girls mock him, and then he was just, being mocked. So Jacob is one of the people that is with him. I'm not sure if that's the one. I should have specified in my notes, because I usually just write the names. I think Jacob is one of the other two. So it's the four of them. The four of them are like this group of killers. The two in the poster and the one that helped him in the beginning. So they prep up with some guns and help BM take out one of his blades as they're trying to take out a family. A horn busts out as his family's camping, and they freak out, and BM's there to start working, taking at least one of them out as they try to escape, but the other two are captured, or two or three are captured. Anyways, I believe Jacob is one of, because he ends up checking out the body, and I wrote that note. So, anyways, two ladies are brought along with them to see some footage of where BM came from. So he storms off after being mocked by the two other guys. And one of the two leaders, I just wrote leader in my notes. I should have been more specific. So he kills one of them with acid water, and he kills the other one with a spider, or is like torturing her with a spider, and then BM comes in and finishes off the second lady with a gun. So, I wrote Jack, so I'm assuming that's one of them. One of the two. Uh, no, wait, no, sorry. Jack and two other people arrive is what I wrote in my notes. And BM starts to chase them pretty quickly. This is a very thing about Bunnyman. It's not so much about the people that he's encountering, it's about the killer. So, uh, anyways, he kills one of them. They start running, and they start working on this other lady. The leader, one of the leader two guys, works on one of them. So there's one female left, unnamed female, I'll call her. And she manages to inject BM with a needle, so he gets knocked out and is able to at least head outside. And he goes on this little trip where this entire music video thing starts playing. But the leader guy is like looking around, and BM is like there after waking up. And she's also killed in the process of the little skip thing. She was killed because she was attempting to escape, stood still for way too long, and then her throat was slit. So, they prop up, and the two leaders are like training together. And thus, they talk about the haunt, where they invite a bunch of people to come in, and no one's, they just, whatever. So they start by inviting two people at a time. BM comes in, he starts killing them. We cut to some time later where there's several bodies on the floor, and one of the people managed to escape somehow. Thus, one of the leaders shoots that person, and then the entire group starts running away in fear. So yeah, everyone else is freaking out. So one of the leaders, named Carl, the main leader, I will say, and John, both threaten to kill BM. But Jacob, the one that saved him in the beginning, is willing to say goodbye. But John kills Jacob. So BM drives off in a fit of rage. And Carl and John, they don't want BM around anymore because they never even trusted him in the beginning of the movie, and that became pretty self-evident. So they begin looking for him. Thus, BM starts to snipe him back. He's in an area that gives him access to vantage points that allows him to get both of them pretty quickly. And he slams John to death first. And Carl attempts to drive away, but he crashes the car with BM shortly behind, and BM brings up the little light torch that he has, and he lights up Carl, and just lets the flames carry on. We see a very brief flashback of the only person that apparently cared for him, his original mom. Very early flashback, obviously. He takes off the mask and he simply walks off to who knows where. And that was Bunnyman Vengeance. Uh, I would cite this as a very comedy horror. I think it dips into a little bit of that. In comedy in the sense of like absurd comedy, because the music video part was a little bit like, we're just like entering a whole new zone uh, here. It's interesting to see how far the Bunnyman little three-part series has commenced. Uh, because I knew from the first movie that this is a very small budgeted movie based off of the camera work and the type of camera that was used and just all that stuff. I'm not sure if they got the same actor to fill the Bunnyman suit all 3 times. Hard to say. But it is the same director. So big shout outs to him, and I'll add him at Twitter and see if he recognizes that I send people that way. I hope to see a little bit more of that. That little trip was very interesting. It reminded me of I'm trying to think. There was the only thing that immediately comes to mind is Beavis and Butthead type of trippy material. That reminds me of that. I think with a bit of work, I think this guy has some potential. If you can take a concept as strange as a person in a bunny suit killing people in variety amounts of ways, I do think that you can legitimize, more intense stuff. And, just get the actors to give more solid performances. That's one thing I will note is between the 2 other guys that are with Bunnyman, that the performances do seem to be a bit more trained. So I did recognize that as well from the first 2 movies. There is some hokiness to it, a bit of cheese, if you will, and I think that's a part of the charm as well. But I do think that you can start to diverge from that and start to really build up character work, because I do think that there's potential for this director to grow and continue. So I'll give it a fair, balanced 6 out of 10. There is a bit of bias in that review, I suppose, so take that with a grain of salt. So, with that being said, that was my review of Bunnyman Vengeance, and if you ended up enjoying the review, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also make sure to check out those links in the description. One will head you over to my Discord server, the other to my Patreon page. Any donations are desperately needed, and until next time everyone, bye bye.